The topic that we're doing for this assignment is intimidation and violence, starring Brittany, Shannon, Melanie, Natalie, Jennifer, and myself.
By definition, intimidating behavior is name-calling, obscene or sexual behavior, harassing language and gestures, shouting, threatening behaviors, such as fist-shaking, invasion of personal space, and as well as stalking and violent threats.
And violent behavior, by definition, means hitting, pushing, biting, slapping, kicking, throwing objects, and using weapons such as guns, knives, and syringes. Also refers to kidnapping and stalking.
Okay.
Here's the first interview displaying inappropriate behavior towards an inappropriate and violent client.
Hello, Shannon. My name is Melanie. I'll be your social service worker today. What can I help you with?
Shouldn't you already know?
I'm really sorry. I've been swamped. I didn't get to your file. Can you tell me about your situation?
Well, the church sent me here to talk about my divorce. Apparently we have to go through counseling first.
Okay, so the church sent you and a divorce. I just broke up with my boyfriend recently. We were together about a year. So it was rough when we broke up, so I feel like I know what you're talking about.
You have no idea what I'm talking about. I was with this guy for 25 years. We were married, we had a family, we were in love. You have no idea what I'm talking about. And then he cheats on me?
Oh, he cheated. Okay, I feel really bad for you. I've never been cheated on. Can you elaborate on that feeling?
I don't want you to feel bad for me. I don't want your sympathy. Obviously, I feel horrible, like I'm not good enough. And then I have so much anger.
I'm really picking up on that anger, and if I'm being honest, I can smell alcohol in your breath. Do you drink often?
Why does it matter what I do on my free time? If I want to have a drink, I'll have a drink.
I feel like you're trying to intimidate me. I'm only here to help your coping process. Is there anything else you do to cope besides just drinking?
I am not an alcoholic.
You're being very aggressive, Shannon. I'll just sign your papers and you can be on your way.
Are you kidding me? And you call yourself a social service worker? You're supposed to help me with my problems. This is a waste of my time.
As you can see in that video that was just shown with Melanie and Shannon, there's 4 phases of violence that were expressed. The first one was anxiety, and this was shown when the SSW hints towards the client that she could have a drinking problem, and so that causes the client to express a lot of anxiety through that. As well, the client doesn't even want to be there, so that is anxiety from the beginning. The second one is defensiveness, and this is expressed when the SSW tells the client that she knows what she's going through, even though the SSW has never been married before, and she's like a young girl who starts talking about breaking up with her boyfriend. So this just shows that it's building the defensiveness of the client. The third one is acting out. This is shown when the client pushes the books and she gets really stressed out, and her voice gets super loud and starts expressing about how she's feeling, so she's acting out in this phase. As well, the SSW, Mel in this case, does not really respect the boundary of body language. As you can see in the video, Mel kind of moves forward instead of moving back, as shown, to like push more, to say that she doesn't really respect the client's boundaries in that case. And the last one is the tension reduction, which actually isn't successful in this interview because the SSW did not demonstrate the ability to handle the client professionally, as well as using the proper 4 phases of counseling.
Here's the second interview displaying appropriate behavior towards the violent and intimidating client.
Hi, Brittany. How are you?
Don't touch me.
Okay, no problem. I don't like to be touched sometimes either. So I read over your case file, and I read that you're here to talk about your divorce.
Are you going to continue asking me stupid questions, or can we get to the point already?
Okay, is there anything you'd like to tell me about your divorce?
How about that bastard cheated on me after 25 years of marriage?
It sounds like you've been greatly affected by this.
Are you just going to repeat everything I say? I can go home and do this in the mirror after a couple of drinks.
Okay, then let's move on to your coping mechanisms. How do you feel like you've been dealing with this?
I go out for drinks with friends. In fact, I just came back from having drinks with them, so I wouldn't have to sit through this stupid session.
Is drinking often one of your go-to coping mechanisms?
Listen, if you ask me about my drinking one more time, I'm going to find out where you live and cut you in your sleep. We're here for my divorce. If I wanted to talk about my drinking, I'd go to an AA meeting.
Okay, Brittany, it sounds like this whole situation is very sensitive for you right now.
You're damn right I'm pissed off. Have you ever been cheated on?
Honestly, no, I haven't, but I would love for
You
you to
just
help
care
me.
about your paycheck.
Okay, I feel like right now is a really good time for a break. There's coffee and tea in the lobby if you'd like some. I'll be back in 5 minutes after we both get a breather, okay?
Bitch.
So Brittany, now that we've had a chance to get a change of scenery and clear our heads, I was wondering how you're feeling.
Fine.
So how about we try looking at your situation in a different light?
What do you mean? There is no other light. It's a divorce.
Well, from what I heard you saying earlier, you feel victimized from the divorce because you were cheated on.
Yeah, I can't stop crying. I'm angry all the time, and all I want to do is sleep.
So the divorce has been taking an emotional toll on you that you weren't exactly expecting.
Yeah, that sums it up all right.
Okay, I'm glad we've established the core problem and we can move on from here.
This video executed social service working skills appropriately as the social worker successfully calms the client throughout the 4 phases of violence and intimidation. The client becomes anxious and defensive when the social worker probes about the client's drinking habits. This is when the social worker maintains empathy and genuineness when the client lashes out. So in order to show understanding, the social worker paraphrases and summarizes the client's feelings. When the situation becomes more violent, the social worker keeps open body language and gives the client space when she advances by leading back. Finally, when the social worker suggests a change of scenery to initiate the tension reduction, after the break, the social worker assists the client in reframing her situation so that they can maintain a positive atmosphere and agree on the problem. We all had a really good time videotaping this assignment for you guys, and we hoped you enjoyed our presentation.
That's all, folks.